Most people lose arguments before they start because they defend. Lelouch doesn't argue back, changes the rules of the conversation. Watch what happens when he gets challenged. Notice what he didn't do. He didn't deny, he didn't defend, he didn't explain himself. He asked a question that forced Schnitzel to justify his position. When you defend, you accept their frame. Lelouch doesn't accept frames, he installs them. So how do you do that without sounding petty, emotional, or defensive? And what are the 6 verbal tricks that make challengers feel like they already lost before the argument even starts? Watch what happens when someone tries to corner Lelouch. They think they're attacking his position, but he never accepts that role. Notice the opening move. He didn't attack Lelouch's strategy. He attacked morality, because morality forces you to defend your identity. If Lelouch answers this with, "No, I don't," he accepted Schneisel's courtroom, and now he's on trial. Now, watch Lelouch's response. He doesn't deny the accusation. He doesn't justify himself. He turns the accusation into a question. Questions reverse burden, and whoever carries burden loses control. This is what most people do. They explain, they defend, and the moment you defend, you accept the other person's frame. Watch what Lelouch doesn't do. No apology, no clarification, no emotional patch. He lets the discomfort sit, and the discomfort moves to Schneisel. Silence is a pressure transfer, and the person under pressure starts talking. Here's the mechanism: accusation, defense, justification, loss of control. Lelouch's path: accusation, question, burden shift to control. Accusations are burden assignments: burden to explain, burden to prove, burden to look innocent. Lelouch flips the burden by asking a question instead of defending. The reversal question does one thing: it makes the attacker defend their claim. Instead of saying, "That's not true," Lelouch asks, "On what basis?" Now the aggressor has to explain, and whoever explains is no longer controlling the conversation. You felt this before. Someone questions your decision, your motive, your competence, and your instinct is to prove yourself. That instinct hands them control. Think of the last time someone challenged you. Instead of defending, what question could have forced them to explain? Lelouch doesn't just flip the burden, he names the tactic. When you label the move, you expose the game. That's an assumption. You're reframing the issue. That's a false dilemma. Once the frame is named, it stops working. You might think this sounds arrogant. It's not arrogance. It's refusing to play a rigged game. Here's how you use this. Step 1. Identify. Notice when someone attacks character, not facts. Step 2. Flip. Ask a calm, neutral question. Step 3. Label. Name the frame once, then stop talking. The first person who explains loses leverage. If you slip and start defending, stop. Ask one clarifying question. If you defend under pressure, you train people to challenge you. But flipping the burden isn't enough. Next, how Lelouch controls the emotional temperature of the room. Once Lelouch flips the burden, he does something even more dangerous. He refuses to match their emotion. Listen to the room. Suzaku's voice raises. He steps forward. Urgency spikes. Emotion speeds thinking, and fast thinking creates mistakes. Now watch Lelouch. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't rush. He doesn't explain more. Tempo decides leadership, and Lelouch just set the tempo. This is the instinct. Match emotion with emotion, and that's how control is lost. Watch the pause. He lets the discomfort sit, and suddenly everyone else adjusts. Silence is pressure, and pressure moves to whoever breaks it. Here's the system: fast emotion, fast thinking, mistakes. Slow emotion, slow thinking, control. Emotion sets tempo. Tempo sets who leads. Lelouch anchors the tempo, and everyone else is forced to follow. The calm anchor is simple. You speak slower than the room. Not softer, not quieter, slower. When you slow your words, you force the other person's brain to slow too. Silence isn't empty, it's pressure. When you don't rush to fill the gap, the other person does it for you. Think about the last argument you lost. Not because you were wrong, but because you reacted. You sped up. You explained too much. You filled the silence. That's where control slipped. You might think silence makes things awkward. It does, and awkwardness is pressure. Here's how you apply this. Step 1. Slow your delivery. Speak 20% slower than feels natural. Step 2. Pause after statements. Do not rush to clarify. Step 3. Let them fill the gap. Silence forces reveals. Whoever rushes follows. If you speed up, stop. Breathe, reset the pace. When you match emotion, you give away leadership. But even control isn't the end game. Next, how Lelouch makes people self-destruct verbally. Up to now, Lelouch has controlled the exchange. But here's where it changes. This is where the other person realizes they can't recover.
今までは3フォールドレピティションとなる。私も本意ではないが、引き分けかな?
Watch the move. He doesn't attack Lelouch's logic. He attacks morality. Moral attacks are designed to corner you, because if you deny them, you sound guilty. Now watch Lelouch. He doesn't deny the moral claim. He accepts the premise. This is where most people panic, because accepting the premise feels like losing. Here's what's actually happening. Moral attack, denial, defense, apology, weakness. Lelouch's response: moral attack, acceptance, reframe, judgment, authority. When you accept the premise, you step inside their moral framework. And once you're inside it, you can show what that framework actually requires. That's how you earn the right to define it. When you deny morality, you sound guilty. When you define morality, you sound weak. But when you accept it, you gain authority over it. The trap is simple. You agree with the accusation, then redefine what morality actually demands. Instead of saying, "That's unfair," Lelouch communicates, "If that's true, then your position is worse." Once you accept the premise, you control the conclusion. This is the kill shot. The final verdict line is short, calm, and it ends the conversation. You're not persuading, you're judging. And now you see why people regret challenging Lelouch. Lelouch doesn't win arguments. He removes the need to argue. He does it with 6 moves: burden flips, emotional control, and final judgment. That's why challengers stop pushing. They realize they already lost. Most people aren't afraid of being wrong. They're afraid of being challenged. I used to defend everything until I realized defending hands away control. When you stop defending, people stop attacking. Lelouch uses these tactics because of who he is. You might not be a Lelouch, and you shouldn't be. I built a free anime character archetype assessment to show you which character you actually operate like under pressure. Link is in the description. It shows you how you argue, how you react, and which verbal tools fit your psychology. Take the quiz, find out which character you align with. The link, you can find it in the description. Power isn't sounding smart, it's knowing how you operate. Until next time, crew, under the glow of stars, we forge our future together. Captain Geo Bravo, signing off.